Me! Hi, Swithe here, and this announcement is to address my upcoming Let's Play. I'm really bored out of my skull at the moment, so I want to start my next Let's Play. So to speed things up, I've decided that I'm going to lock the votes now, and because I've got like 6 games with 1 vote each, I'm going to do it first to 3 votes is what I'll do. And I'm going to show a short clip of each of the games now to help you decide. So I'll see you in a sec with the first game. Okay, I'm doing it in alphabetical order. This is the first game, Fire Emblem 9, Path of Radiance. I would show a point later in the game, but it turns out my file got erased, so I've got to show you some at the start of the game. It's basically a strategy role-playing game. Basically, take it in turns. Combines strategy, like planning your attacks, unit placement, what beats what, and combines it with traditional RPG elements like leveling up, equipping characters with the right items, and stuff. It's actually a great game, great series, the Fire Emblem series. Very underrated because most of them are Japan only, the games. So yeah, it is a pretty good game, though. It kind of ruins it at later stages because it can pretty much tank the game. Yeah, so I do like the fighting games. I prefer number 7, but this one was voted by one of my subs, and well, he's a friend as well, sub and friend. So yeah, if you like strategy role-playing games, or you just like Fire Emblem, then vote for this. I think I'll just finish his turn off with a steel axe to the face. Yeah, basically you got like different units. Each unit can do its own thing. Fire Emblem as well has like a really strict rule: 1 life. If you lose a character, you lose them for the game, unless if it's the main character, in which case you get game over, or you lose all your characters. Anyway, yeah, then it goes on to your enemy phase because it's turn-based. It does get a lot more interesting later. I'll have to stop here because I've got other games to show. Okay, next game up is a game called Golden Sun. It's like a traditional RPG, except it's like little extras, like you can use Synergy, which is like a psychic force outside a battle. Just do like all sorts with it. Traditional fight style, so I'll try and get into a fight. This is world map, so we'll get into one pretty soon. There we go. This is an Isaac solo file, so everyone else is dead, and they're all level 1, I think, or level 1, 5 and 10, 4 and 10 levels you get them. Yeah, this is an Isaac solo file. It's just like to show off. You've got like your normal attacks, Synergy, which is like your magic, your shins, your summons, items, and defend. It's basically a traditional RPG, but it is a great storyline, great characters. And you do get some pretty funny dialogue in it. It's interesting puzzles. It's got more puzzles than better puzzles than you'd expect from the everyday RPG. And it's also one of my favourite games ever. It seems kind of dull from this. This is just like to show you the type of thing it is, really. I'd show like a dungeon, but I'm nowhere near one. Yeah, I'm pretty overpowered for these. Yeah, so as you can see, it's like a pretty traditional RPG. This game, if this wins, I'll be doing Golden Sun 1, and then I'll follow it up with Golden Sun 2, because they are pretty much just 2 halves of the same game. So, yeah, that's the next one. I'm going to go on to the next one now. Next game that was voted was Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. This is one of my favourite Kirby games. Superstar isn't out in this country. I've heard that's supposed to be really good. Anyway, Kirby games, they're just like platformer, though Amazing Mirror was done kind of differently. It was done in a kind of RPG overworld style, because although it's a platformer, you've got like one overworld instead of stages, which all Kirby games usually have stages. This one was done differently in that you had like one giant stage, really, like different places. Basically, you just make your way around. One thing I like about Kirby games, you can like take opponents' abilities like that. You've got all sorts of abilities in this one. There's about 30 different abilities, I think, in this one. I'm about to get one of my favourites in this room. One of my favourite Kirby abilities of all time. Fighter! Basically get like all sorts of fighting moves. Anyway, yeah, it's traditional traditional platform really for Kirby games. I really do love Kirby games. Kirby's one of my favourite game characters, if not the. Yeah, so I do love Kirby games. The only trouble I've got with this game is it does involve a lot of backtracking. Anyway, you've seen what kind of games this is. You just like go around and you make your way to like the bosses and take them down for each area. Then you take down all the bosses in each area. Then you go fight the final boss. And yeah, you can also pick your colour Kirby on this one, which I find interesting because I get to be yellow. Yay! But you have to unlock the colour first. I do know how to 100% this game, so you will be getting 100% Let's Play this. Anyway, next game. The next game is Majora's Mask. Well, I'm playing it on the GameCube. This is another Legend of Zelda game. This one's got... Oh, shut up. Some interesting stuff. You've got, like... You can see at the bottom, you've got, like, the counter. On this game, you've got, like, 3 days to save the world, but you can travel back in time. Another interesting feature on this is, like, the masks. Each has, like, their own ability. Like that one, like, blows yourself up. Bunny Hood, which is one of my favourite, makes you run faster. And jump further as well. Yes, you use masks. You've also got, like... transformation masks as well, which turn you into stuff. Yeah, you basically make... although Majora's Mask is a pretty good Zelda game, unfortunately it's very outweighed by subquests. You've got like 4 dungeons, making it the shortest Zelda game in terms of dungeons, but subquests are really what keeps it going. It's got like 4 dungeons but about 60 quests. So my only quarrel with this is most of the parts would be collecting stuff or subquests rather than the main quest and dungeoning and bossing. So it's a great Zelda game, but most of the time I'll be subquesting it. So vote for it if you want. And I'll go on to the next game, which is also a Zelda game. Okay, everyone knows this game, Ocarina of Time. Often heralded as one of the best games ever made. Seriously, you've got to have heard of this game. So yeah, one of the best games ever made, definitely one of the best Zelda games ever made. Compared to Majora's Mask, I'd probably say this is better. It's very linear, so it's pretty much dungeons start to finish with only a couple of subquests along the way. So it's pretty good for Let's Playing. However, my main quarrel with it is it's been done to death. Just about everyone's played this game. There must be at least 20 different Let's Plays of it, at least. So it's a great game, but unfortunately just about everyone and their mothers have LP'd this game. Even my mother's played this game. She's like, it's about the only game she's ever finished. Put that and Psycho Fox, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, this is a great game, start to finish dungeons pretty much. There's only like a couple of subquests to get lost in, so it's a good game to Let's Play, but it's been Let's Played to death. And the final game that was voted for was... And the final game that was voted for people, by a person anyway, is Metroid Prime 3 Corruption for the Wii. This game's a kind of FPS meets platformer meets RPG, because it combines you have like an overworld instead of just like instead of like stages, you've got like overworlds. You've also got like jumping from platform to platform in certain places, so it combines that platformer. An obvious point and shoot is FPS. You've also got like the ball for like puzzles and platform stages. I would show a part later in the game where you're like shooting enemies, but when I loaded the game I realised I've only got 2 saves, one right near the start and one's a completed file that has to be started over. So yeah, it is a great game, the Metroid games. I like the Metroid series. So yeah, it's kind of FPS meets platformer meets RPG kind of thing. Yeah, this video is just made to show people like what the games are like, just to give them like a brief example of what they're voting for. For people who don't know what the games are, what they just look like at first glance. So yeah, I enjoy the Metroid games, but I'm no pro at them. But I do enjoy them. So yeah, that concludes the 6 games that were voted for. Each of those games got 1 vote, and I'm going to lock it, so vote for one of those 6, and the first video to each 3 votes is the one that I'll let's play, because I am really bored right now and I really want to start playing again. So yeah, just remember to vote, and I'll start let's playing as soon as it gets 3 votes. So see you next let's play then. So signing out. Sorry I couldn't go into much depth on them because I'm on a time limit here, and I didn't really pre-plan them all. So 2 of them at least were in bad places. So yeah, remember to vote, and I'll see you next let's play. Swithe signing out.